Today, Jeff and Steve are heading for Brenham, Kansas, where several thousand years ago, a large meteorite had the same destination. Their goal is to find remnants of that ancient rock.
Well, look at what the wind blew in. How you doing?
It was a tornado, actually.
Yeah.
I saw Dorothy on my way, and
And Toto?
I didn't see the dog, but she was standing.
Pieces of the Brenham meteorite have been unearthed in these fields for more than a century. It was thought that everything had been recovered. That is, until Steve found his record-setting rock here.
Everyone thought there can't possibly be any more meteorites there because people have been hunting since the 1880s. There probably isn't even a pea-sized piece left. That's what everyone thought except Steve. He just rocked the meteorite world. The biggest Brenham ever found.
Inspired by the big find, Steve and Jeff believe that some of the largest pieces of the meteorite are still deep underground, beyond the scope of traditional detection equipment.
We're ready to find some rocks.
All right, let's go, let's go. I want to see.
So they've come with an arsenal of
My
tools.
saw.
Because most meteorites have a high iron content, metal detectors are essential. Steve and Jeff bring several.
This is one of my favorite metal detectors. It doesn't have a very big range, but it's really good for finding smaller targets or for pinpointing larger targets when you're close to them.
All metal detectors work on the same basic principle. A signal is sent through a coil and broadcast into the ground as an electromagnetic field. Encountering metallic objects alters that field, and that change in frequency is heard on a speaker.
There's our signal. That little beep tells us we found a metallic object. Unfortunately, by the time I get up to here, a couple of feet away, can't see the target anymore.
This detector, you'll notice the coil is really big. And this allows us to go even deeper.
But for meteorites even deeper underground, you need a detector with an even bigger coil.
This is what we call the 1 meter coil. May look completely different from the other detectors, but basically it's the same thing. Here's the control box, sends a signal down this wire, and here's the coil that sends our electromagnetic pulse down into the ground looking for targets. This piece of equipment will find a meteorite 5, 6, 7, 8 feet underground if it's a large target. We love it.
But Steve and Jeff need to think even bigger. So Steve designed the ultimate meteorite hunting weapon.
This is probably kind of how the Wright brothers assembled their first airplane.
Okay, let's lift this over. You don't go to your favorite mega store and go to the meteorite hunting aisle and find the stuff you need to hunt.
How do these things get so tangled up on their own?
To search large areas, Steve envisioned a giant metal detector that could be pulled by a truck or an ATV.
If you want to find the big stuff, you gotta go big.
His solution was a sled made of PVC pipe, big enough to carry a metal detecting coil 50 feet long.
Oh yeah, don't forget the flag. Can we put a small English flag up there as well?
Because there can't be any metal near the coil, plastic zip ties and duct tape are used to fasten it to the sled.
Over the back.
Fully assembled, the detector measures 126 square feet and can detect meteorites 10 to 20 feet deep.
Oh, I feel like Charlton Heston and Ben-Hur. In the old days, hunters would walk a field like this using the little handheld detectors. It's hundreds of acres. You could spend your whole life doing it. With this unit that Steve designed himself, we can cover a huge area like this in a couple of days.
But even with the best equipment, knowing where to search for the hidden rocks comes down to understanding just how the meteorite first made its entry into our atmosphere.
Now, when an asteroid comes into the Earth's atmosphere, it usually will break up. The force on the mass is tremendous. It breaks up into multiple pieces. So the rock will come in, and as it comes in, the smaller pieces start to drop off, but the larger pieces with more inertia will go further.
The landing zone is called a strewn field because the meteorites are literally strewn along a path by the disintegrating meteor. At Brenham, that path spreads out over 9 square miles.
In this particular place, we have 125 years of documented meteorite recoveries, and so what we do is go back into the old records and find out where other pieces have been found.
So we put all that intelligence together into a map. The yellow is the approximate boundary of the strewn field, and the red stars are some of the meteorites that have been found. The biggest star right here is the largest Brennan meteorite, which was found by Steve a couple of years ago in that field just over there. So we're really close.
Their hunch is that other massive pieces followed the same trajectory as Steve's large find. So their search today begins in a sprawling field adjacent to that area. But the odds are still stacked against them. They're trying to find rocks that traveled millions of miles and have been buried for thousands of years, somewhere under 9 square miles of farmland.
You have to be prepared to really put in a lot of time if you want to be a meteorite hunter. It's not the kind of thing where you can say, gee, I'm going to go out and find a meteorite and find one on your first day. It's just not going to happen. We've gone out in the field sometimes for weeks at a time, 10 hours a day, 5 days, and we don't find anything.